Knit Claire consistently achieve the optimum amount of posts on Twitter, absolutely smashing their engagement? If you have any questions, please use the blue button inside Maybe's. It connects you to us all 24/7 and we love to help. So this is Knit Claire. They are an independent online business that creates unique hand knitted items. And they really stand out on Twitter because of the fantastic job they do with engagement. So the optimum amount of times to post a day on Twitter is 3 to 5 times, which might seem like a lot to do every single day. So to do that consistently might seem like a bit of a task. So how does Knit Claire actually do this? Let's have a look. Well, what immediately jumps out is that they engage really, really well. But the secret, I think, is that it's a combination of content that they've created. So if we look just here, you've got obviously a post they've created that promotes what their business actually does. So that's a pure created post. And that might be what you think you have to do 3 to 5 times a day to actually achieve that optimum. But it isn't, because if you actually share other people's content, or you comment, or you quote tweet someone else's content, that all counts as engagement. And that's what Knit Claire do so consistently well. They post regularly about what they actually offer, but they also share content from other feeds that's relevant to their followers. So obviously their followers are likely to follow Knit Claire because they like handmade items. So therefore, sharing content from other feeds that also offer handmade items and designs is likely to be relevant to their followers too. And that's the key thing when you're sharing other people's content, is you have to have your audience in mind. So you have to know what would be of interest to your followers. And Knit Claire do this extremely well. So they share a nice balance of content they create, content they curate, so obviously content from other feeds, but also just generally joining the right conversations. So you can see consistently, both in the content that they're sharing and the content that they're creating, there are often hashtags for things like Twitter hours. So Twitter hours run for an hour in the week, and there's lots and lots of Twitter hours out there, but most of them are related to either a particular sector or maybe a place. And Knit Claire engage really well in these Twitter hours. So that's probably where they actually find their content to obviously share. But also they comment on other people's content, complimenting them on what they're offering. And if you engage with others, obviously they're much more likely to reciprocate and engage back with you. So they've got a really good balance. And I mean, I'm scrolling through the feed just here, and you can see that we're still looking at content that they've actually shared from today. So they consistently engage really, really well. So what can we actually learn from looking at their feed? Well, you really do get out what you put in on Twitter. So engage with the right conversations, consider relevant Twitter hours, and through this activity, share other people's content that you think would be of interest to your followers. And then those other feeds are much more likely to reciprocate. So if they share your content, then obviously that means that your content reaches their followers too. So that's definitely one thing. The other one is absolutely to use relevant hashtags in your content, but also to engage in those conversations too. So obviously, if you are using handmade hour in your content to join that Twitter hour, engage with the content that also includes that Twitter hour hashtag too. And then obviously your content, in your content you create, adds great images. Obviously that's something that you should always look to do on social. So let me show you how Maybe can actually help you with this. So the Maybe Engage feature not only allows you, under engagement, you can see you can engage with people that comment on your posts and people that mention you. So obviously you can make sure that you keep on top of posts where people are actually engaging with your content or actually mentioning you in their posts. But you can also here add feeds, hashtags that are relevant to your business and then engage with it all from one place, but not just from Twitter. You can do so on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram from here. So it's a massive time saver, because obviously you can do all of the engagement with all of the hashtags and feeds that are relevant to your business across multiple platforms from one place. So obviously Knit Claire, their account could potentially include handmade hour, UK gift hour, all of the Twitter hours they engage with, all of the hashtags they use that are relevant to their content, they can actually add to their account and obviously engage all from one place, which is a massive time saver. So I hope that's been useful. If you have any questions, please use this blue button at the bottom right just here, because that's how you connect to us 24/7. And if there's anything mentioned in this video that you'd like to know more about, use the search bar and you'll find other videos on those topics. And I'll see you on another video soon.